Is Elden Ring DLC overtuned, too difficult? Well, it depends who you ask. The thing is that there are ways to complete the DLC quite easily if you are spending time just reading about the most powerful builds and how to get the different items and how to combine it into a build that can just works and makes the combat even finish in a few seconds, sometimes even one hit, if you don't mind kind of doing the ceremony for doing all the different buffs in a different order, changing weapons before you get into the fight. Some bosses can be eliminated, or maybe all of them, in just a single hit. So basically in Elden Ring, knowledge is power, and this means a lot of power. So whether you are don't want to ruin it for yourself, you just want to do it organically, I can definitely understand you. It really takes a lot out of the game if you're just using something that is very cheesy and OP, and this includes also the perfumer items, the bleed items. Some of them are insanely powerful. Although some people won't call them cheesy, but they are. The thing is that there are some weapons that just makes the game so much easier. Now, when I did my first playthrough, I really didn't care. I really focused on exploration, finding things, and even if you see he uses mimic and other type of ashes, I really don't care. I wanted to get all the different items and enjoy the exploration, like kind of a casual RPG game. After that, coming back into the game, I really want to challenge myself by already having the items. The thing is, for me, some of the items that I got so late, I didn't even get a chance to enjoy against bosses because I got them so late or discovered them so late. And more or less, I know more or less what I want to do and what I enjoy, and I really want to enjoy them against the bosses, but with the build that I already kind of created using my first playthrough, and I want to enjoy it throughout in a more challenging way, of course, by dropping all the other aids that I can actually get, and using also a build that really doesn't really kill the boss in one hit. You see, the thing is that part of the fun that I got when I first played Elden Ring, which was my first Souls game, was actually the difficulty. Being able to conquer something very, very tough and challenging. And I can promise that back then, mimics or not, and everything in the game still was hard for me. It doesn't matter. I still was struggling like crazy, even just with single, very simple enemy. But once I was able to get into the game, I discovered something amazing, so satisfying. So basically, if I want to make it very easy to myself, I'm not really enjoying the game the same as I really enjoyed when I first played it. So that's generally why I recommend play it organically. But if you're just into the story, some people are, I can understand why you really just want to put the boss as something secondary, and you just enjoy exploration, getting things, and follow the story. And trust me, there are ways to finish the bosses even one hit or just a few hits with very, very cheesy builds, with something they can do right now. Maybe it's going to be patched, but it is possible. Now, if you want to make it easier for you and not look into in-depth guides and stuff, you can just use a companion spirit ashes, basically like a mimic, for example, and the boss in many situations will attack it and it will give you enough time, especially if you're ranged, to eliminate the boss. This can make by itself makes the boss fights, most of the boss fights, really easy. Alright, not super easy because you're going to roast me in the comment section, but what I'm saying is that it makes it much, much easier. But you should know that you're really taking yourself out of the enjoyment of being able to feel how it's like conquering a very difficult challenge. I'm saying you, this is again what I felt, what actually made Elden Ring so memorable to me. So basically, if you do want to get into those guides that really make you some broken builds, just so you know that you're going to miss a lot. So I don't recommend doing it, and that's why I recommend doing it organically rather than jumping on some of the things that are totally broken. Some of them will be patched, some of them not, but you're just going to ruin part of the fun for yourself. I mean, what are we going to feel like once you're able to conquer a tough boss fight? And I think that for many it boils down to whether you have enough patience or time to actually do, or both, to actually do it, because it takes a lot of experimentation, especially if there's so many options for you to really find something that does work for you. And this can be even hundreds of hours if you're new to the Soulborne series to really understand what's going on, going over the difficulty curve and start experimenting. It can take a lot of hours. I spent hundreds of hours until I got to a point where I'm ready to do things without actually using summons. It took me a lot of time. And yeah, many bosses in the DLC are way harder compared to bosses in the base game. At least that's how it was for me. And what I think, of course, again, imagine a company developing a game, getting all that information, of players, what they are doing in the game. Of course, they can use it in order to create something very challenging. How do you create something very challenging? You need to know players' behavior, how they behave in certain situations, and fine-tune it in the way to punish them. Like, for example, how many times it happened to you where you wanted to heal, and the moment you wanted to heal, the boss hits you? Well, it's designed like that because they know you're going to heal shortly after you get hit, because you get panicked, you don't want to die, you don't going to wait for the several attacks and then do it, and you get punished. Bosses are designed to find those opportunity windows to punish you whenever possible. Right? It seems like that, right, when you play it, because it's tuned like that, most probably. But the bottom line is that when you play a Souls game, they're going to be hard, they're going to be difficult. But the thing is that there's always a way, if you want to, again, spend the time to do it, or you want to read online. That's why wikis are so popular, because people really want to get that information, which weapons they upgrade, which one scales better, which one good, prove to be good against certain bosses in terms of damage type and so on, to really help you make the game much easier. So my tip for you is find a fine line between something that can ruin your enjoyment and something that really makes you enjoy the game, and try to do things that not ruin that enjoyment, right? For me, for example, that was not looking at anything, not even playing online, just playing offline, so I wouldn't even see the signs, finding things myself, trying out new weapons, different spirit ashes and different things, and see what works. And if you do plan to do several playthroughs or a second one, you can just go the first one and make it easier for you, so you can just enjoy. And then after that, you come back, you already have some nice drops, some weapons that you can enjoy playing with all the different bosses with a certain build, and just again make it harder for yourself in the second playthrough rather than in the first one. Now, I'm not even talking about the last boss fight, which I don't know what's happened there when it comes to design that boss. It was so difficult. I mean, overall difficult, whatever I brought into this fight. And even if you were planning to do the side quests, which I think many players will actually miss it if you try to do it organically, because they are so missable. You even have the option to spawn even 3 summons, 2 of the ones from the quest and even 1 of yours, so it can really make things, some of the fights easier, especially the latest fights. That's why I think if you do everything a bit slowly and pay attention to the quests, if you can able to solve some of them, even by just that will make the game easier for you a bit later on. So yeah, it does feel that again things are more fine-tuned here to make it harder for players, and definitely going to feel it. Some players will feel it. But if you are thinking about getting or not getting the DLC, forget about it. Get a DLC. It's absolutely an amazing DLC. So yeah, there are ways to get it. Find a place where you see that you are not ruining it for yourself. If you do plan to do a second playthrough, you can even make the first one kind of more organic, the second one more about finding using guides and wikis in order to make sure you're doing everything and you have more knowledge and experience in fights as well, and just enjoy the second one in the different ways. And that's it for this video. Overall, I enjoyed it a lot. Enjoyed the second playthrough a lot now. By dropping even all the Asia summons and trying myself, it's much harder, but I'm doing well and I'm enjoying it even better. Thanks for watching.